Around, I got halfway up the stairs, and someone saw me, and they said, "Oh, Mrs. Perry's home." I said, "The wicked witch has arrived," and kids went, and I said later on, "Well, I was glad Chris wasn't here." Well, him and Denny Kuykendall jumped out the window.
Upstairs.
I always thought that Chris was always so polite and so nice, and I just thought he had wings and was going to take off flying any day. And then I found out he's the one wrecked the one side of my car, and my son wrecked the other side. And he's the one got him the first bottle of wine, tickled pink, and of all places, they sat behind the YMCA and drank it. I said, "Now, wasn't that exciting?"
The aftermath was.
Well, I made that slush that time, and I came home and it was so hot outside. And I don't know, I was cutting grass, I was doing something outside, and I thought, well, I'm going to go get me a cup of that slush. I opened up that freezer door and there was about this much left in the bottom. I had one of the big Tupperware containers. Oh, where in the world did that go? And here Tammy and Renee, and they cleaned house. I came home and my house was clean from top to bottom. I said, "You ate all that and then you cleaned house?" It had rum, 501k rum, orange juice, ginger ale, lemons. I forget what all in it. Anyway, this guy that I worked with gave me the recipe because I went to a pool party at his house, and me and my friend Kathy sitting on the edge of the pool dangling our feet, and they came around with a big tray with juice. Ladies like a nice cold drink, and oh, it just looked so weird. Yeah. Well, then they came back around and they brought me home. I didn't know that it had liquor in it, and Kathy didn't either.
I remember you used to keep Southern Comfort up there.
Oh,
And then
Joe Snyder.
you didn't drink it much, but I found it one day. I was getting something up there, and I was like, Southern Comfort. So when Mom was at work,
Tudor's favorite.
we took these little Bayer aspirin bottles, and we'd fill it up, these Bayer aspirin bottles, and carry them in our pocket and walk to the skating rink, me and Greg, and drank them on the way to the skating rink. And then we'd, in case Mom had the bottle marked, we'd put that much water back in it.
Well, Mom never drank at home. Only time I ever drank
Well, you had it.
was when I went out dancing, and then I usually one drink, and I never bought a drink. Men always sent us over drinks.
I ain't never bought a drink that I didn't drink. Or yeah, I have. I ended up giving it to you. I was like, I better not drink any more of this.
Well, I tell you, I was almost afraid to have mixed drinks because I liked them.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, man, if I made these at home, I'd turn into an alcoholic. And one day, Tammy was having a pool party, and she said, "Mom," she said, "you want me to make you a margarita?" And I said, "No." She says, "Oh," she said, "this ain't got much liquor in it." Anyway, she finally ended up making me a margarita, and then I got in my car and drove home, and I said, "Here, you drove home and you just had drinking. That's something you've preached to your kids about. You don't drink and drive." I called Tammy up and I said, "Here, you made me and I said, "Then let me get my car and drive home." She said, "Mom," she said, "there wasn't enough liquor in that for nothing." And I says, "I don't care. I don't like that." I said, "Your mom won't ever let me take you anywhere again." And she was okay. I don't guess her mom ever found out about it. But they were delicious. It had that ice in them like your frappes.
Yeah.
Real fine ice. Oh, and the strawberry was to die for. I told Kathy, I said, we can't go down there very often. She says, why? I says, because I said, them daiquiris are so good. And I said, and I'm not about to drink them and drive.
Yeah.
So I'll drive the next time. And I said, well, you won't be drinking then. And now she goes to church and she don't do none of that stuff. And her husband won't even drink pop out of the bottle.
How come?
I don't know, something about the Bible, I don't know.
What?
Yeah. And I had a cousin like that too. Used to when we first started having our family reunions here. Well, the Pepsi company would bring us a cooler out to our shelter and fill it up with pop, and then we'd just take up a collection from everybody to pay for it. And what was I going to tell you? Lost my train
Your
of thought.
cousin wouldn't drink pop.
And yeah, and because it was in the bottle, he wouldn't drink it. Yeah,
I wonder what's wrong with
I
that.
don't know. Something probably traditional. I was raised on a lot of traditions. That's why I don't understand the Bible. I read it and I don't understand it, and I ask Rusty questions, and me and Monica, just about every time we get on the phone, we end up having church. And I told her, I says, well, she likes Joel Osteen real well.
Mm-hmm.
She watches him every Sunday 3 times.
Okay.
And I told her, I said, I like to hear him and everything. I said, but there's one thing I don't understand about these big preachers. I says, they have all these diamonds, their wives have all these diamonds, they have all these designer clothes and everything. And then they're up taking up a collection to feed the poor. Which Joel Osteen don't accept any money from his church. All his money that he lives off of is made from his books.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His daddy could preach up a storm. Lord have mercy. And I said, I know that it says that God wants us to prosper, but I says, I think when there's people starving, you just don't need all that junk. This church up here on Millville Avenue, that missionary way, that's where Ginger's sister-in-law and her kids all go and everything. They had Ginger's dad's birthday party up there. And it was so nice. And down off of their gymnasium, at one end, it's they have 2 big rooms. And it's all set up, it's like a kitchen and then a living room. And when missionaries come or a different preacher comes, they have a place for them to stay, and they stock the refrigerator and everything.
Well, that's nice.
Really fixed nice. My little church don't do nothing. I told Rusty, I said, they don't do nothing. They never have. Only time they ever did, Paul Markham and Brother Pettit. And every time Brother Pettit did something that was funny or fun, he got called on the carpet. We went skating and everybody said, got back to that we